Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Smoak. Welcome to my office. I'm the chairman of the music department here at the University of the Cumberlands, and I've been teaching here for the past 17 years. If you look around my office, you'll see lots of things that might catch your attention. The pictures on the wall are basically a history of the past years that I have been conducting chamber choir and show choir. You'll notice a picture like this. They're all in very nice, more formal attire. That's the chamber choir picture, but then the picture directly above it, they're dressed in garb from the 20s and 30s. We did a zoot suit kind of show that year. We went down to one of the costume shops and each of the students picked out a costume, so we had choreography that was part of that. I'm also one of the disc jockeys on the WCCR radio show here at Cumberland. So some of my CDs are here. I have 2 or 3 other shelves that are full of CDs that I use. I actually have a DJ named Dr. J, hits of the 70s, 80s, and today, and I play a lot of 70s and 80s music when I'm on the radio. Something else you might notice if you look around my office, some of my toys. A lot of my students and some of my family members give me toys over the years. It became something that we do, especially on birthdays and at Christmas and on holidays. I keep some of the ones on my desk, especially the stress balls, so that I can relieve stress during the day. Some of the toys, once they've been in use for a while, they get put up on the retirement shelf. Some of them, if you squeeze now, they may actually burst in your hands. Many of the toys carry special meanings. Some of the shows that we've done with the show choir, each of these beads and knickknacks are from some of the shows. This one particular set of 3 stuffed animals, I had a student who gave me one year, and over the next 3 years he was adding to the collection until he finally graduated, so that I got to keep them. After he graduated, he never came back to get them. My family, as I said earlier, also likes to give me some of the toys, and rather than just something to play with, a few years ago my son saw the clock. You can actually stop it and see that it's just one small peg with many lights, and as the momentum begins to build up, then the time actually shows, the date begins to show again. The Hey Doc that's there is one of my former students who programmed that into my clock so that I would always remember Jeremiah in the future years once he had graduated. He's actually living in northern Kentucky right now. The office that I've shown you, that's where I do most of my administrative work. But some of my teaching as a voice professor here at the University of the Cumberlands, I do in a separate office in my teaching studio. So we're going to go down to my teaching studio now and let me show you a little bit around there. As we come into the teaching studio, of course, you'll notice a big difference from where we just were. The piano, of course, the grand piano, one of the first questions all of my students ask is, how did you get the grand piano through that little door? Of course, the legs come off. We turned it sideways. We didn't. The maintenance people here at the University of the Cumberlands took it apart, turned it sideways, set it back up on the legs, and then put it all back together. We have lots of pictures in this studio as well, but the pictures here are a little bit different. Rather than it just being the groups that I've conducted, the pictures here are of students, some who have been in my private voice studio, some have been in some of my classes, some have been a part of my work study program here at the University of the Cumberlands, pictures of myself with some of my students, pictures of some of my other groups. I also conduct the Cumberland Singers, which is a much larger group than the one that you saw in my office. We've got 2 or 3 posters from the theater productions and musical productions that have been performed here. The Tempest, Hello Dolly, My Fair Lady, and The Fantastics. Of course, there's my one and only favorite pop star, Olivia Newton-John. All of my students know that she's one of my favorites. I've mentioned that my family is a big part of my life. I have one son who's 17 years old. When we moved here, he was 4 months old. So I've been here for 17 years. And one of the things that we brought with us from where we formerly were is a tree. But the tree was only about this tall, give or take, and it sat right here on top of the air conditioning unit. And my wife actually wanted to throw it out because it was only a stick with just a couple of leaves sticking out of it. I don't have a green thumb, but I really liked that tree. And as you can see, my tree has grown. The tree actually reached the ceiling because this was the top and it went there. and then it sprouted and went this way, and now I've got 2 babies growing. So after 17 years, I'm still growing the tree, and I'm very proud of my tree. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video and find out a little bit about me and my office and my studio. If you'd like to get in touch with the music department or with Dr. Jeff Smoak, you can reach me at jeff.smoak, that's S-M-O-A-K, at ucumberlands.edu. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the Cumberlands website. Once again, Dr. Jeff Smoak, and I'm glad that you've been around to watch us today. Thanks.